Psychiatrist.
Yeah. So would you agree with me, sir, that when you are diagnosing, if you do, a patient that's coming to you for help after having a baby, so it's postpartum, and has been through, let's say, postpartum depression, and is now complaining of hearing voices or a voice commanding her to act, that is a symptom of postpartum psychosis, yes or no? Is it?
That would be psychosis. I don't know exactly, based on your hypothetical, as to whether it would count as the proposed postpartum psychosis illness, disease, but it certainly would be a concerning symptom or sign.
Okay, so if you had administered the Edinburgh test, that is something that may have assisted you in evaluating the claim that the person is hearing voices, because that's one of the things that you would be concerned about with a patient, right?
You're always concerned if you're encountering somebody who's hearing voices, especially if they're new. Especially
if they're a mother, right?
Anybody.
How about thought broadcasting? You ever heard of that?
Yes.
Okay. How about a patient that says that they're worried about hearing voices, and they're worried that people such as teachers could hear the voices in their head? Is that something that would concern you?
Yes.
How about if the person was afraid that somebody is able to hear the voices in their head and would call the police or DCF and they'd lose their kids? Is that something that would concern you?
Hypothetically, yes, it would be a concern.
Well, how about actually in this case with Lindsay Clancy? Did you come across that in all of your investigation?
I came across, in my evaluation, a period where she worried that people could hear what she was thinking. That's different, first of all, from thought broadcasting. But in either event, as I've said, she was in a serious psychiatric state, and she was suffering.
How about number 2, postpartum psychosis symptomology, delusional beliefs with distorted reality? Did she complain to Tufts or Gelada about having distorted reality, being disassociated? Things weren't real. Do you recall coming across that?
So there were times that in the context of some of the medications she was taking that she felt that things weren't real, yes.
Okay, so
or that
my question,
felt
sir,
uncomfortable.
My question, sir, is whether or not she complained of that to her health care providers. You'd agree with me that she did, right?
Yes.
Okay. How about appears normal in between episodes, calm, even laughing? Would you agree with me, sir, that postpartum psychosis waxes and wanes? It comes and it goes, right?
So are you referring to a particular...
I'm asking you a simple question. Do you agree that postpartum psychosis waxes and wanes, that it can come out of nowhere and then leave, and a person can appear normal? They can even laugh. Would you agree with that, sir?
Are you referring to postpartum psychosis and illness, or the findings of psychosis in somebody who's postpartum?
I am asking you about Lindsay Clancy, the young lady that's sitting right here, that you're testifying against in front of this jury, telling this jury that she was responsible for the death of her children. You with me?
I'm not sure I understand exactly the context that you just stated.
Okay, the context I'm giving it is...
the natural course of an illness called postpartum psychosis. That illness has not been refined. It's not something that we in psychiatry, at least as far as I'm aware, can talk about as an illness where we understand its typical course. And we understand
time out.
All right, hold on. Let him finish. Doctor, you done with that answer?
I'm done.
Okay, go ahead.
You're telling me, sir, that you don't believe or buy postpartum psychosis. Is that what you're telling me?
I didn't say that at all.
Okay. So you do believe that postpartum psychosis is a serious mental illness?
I don't think it's a matter of belief or not belief. I'm aware of how to elicit the symptom or sign of psychosis. I am also aware that there's a proposal for an illness that would be recognized, where we understand its typical course and how it progresses, that has been proposed and that has not been approved for use in psychiatry in the United States.
Approved by who?
By the American Psychiatric Association.
The APA, so you...
Hold on.
By the team that let me, if I can finish, by
That's
the
the judge you're
particular
talking to, not
body
me.
within the American Psychiatric.
Do you agree that postpartum psychosis is a legitimate disease or defect? Yes or no?
When you have a symptom or sign of postpartum of psychosis at any time, but particularly in the postpartum period, it is a legitimate finding and something to be concerned about and to treat.
Okay. And when you say within the time frame, you're referring to the Dr. Mack time frame of 4 weeks, right?
No, I think, as I said, any time that a person has psychosis.
Okay, so
the issue about 4 weeks has to do with how we would diagnose it or what wording we would use to diagnose it, but that doesn't have to do with the reality of the individual.
Okay, so any time that there is a psychosis, and if it's postpartum, you would agree that you can put the two words together and it's postpartum psychosis, right?
You would not utilize that in your diagnostic terminology.
Okay. Well, you would agree,
You
sir,
would see that, and you would be concerned about it. According to the DSM, you would not utilize that.
I'm sorry. Doctor, if you could repeat that answer. We had some problems following it. Go ahead.
So the presence of psychosis is always of concern, especially if it's new onset. To the extent that we are talking about the proper terminology of labeling something, whether it is postpartum onset or not, the DSM provides guidance as to the time frame. That is different than my saying that it is a not serious condition.
So, symptom number one, complaint, according to the Mass General Hospital, major research project, along with the Department of Mental Health, dealing with postpartum psychosis, would indicate that hearing voices, a voice commanding her to act, is a symptom of postpartum psychosis. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Just give me a yes or no.
I can't answer that.
Okay, the answer is no. The answer is no.
All right. He just doesn't agree with it. Next question.
You answered these questions several times now.
Really?
Overruled. We're going to let him ask that question if you want to ask that again.
So let's move on, sir, so we don't fight over number one. How about number two? Delusional beliefs, distorted reality. Would you agree that that's a symptom of postpartum psychosis, sir? Yes or no?
You said number one, number two. I don't know what authority you're referring to.
Do you agree, sir, that a symptom of postpartum psychosis, in addition to the hearing of the voices, would be delusional beliefs and a distorted reality?
I can't answer because I still don't know if you're referring to the phenomenon of psychosis or you're referring to some illness.
I'm referring to the illness that Lindsay Clancy was suffering that's in her medical record, sir, that you tell this jury you read. That's all I'm asking.
Well, I didn't find any evidence of psychosis in her record.
Okay.
Other than...
Was there any was there any indication that she was hearing voices? Did she complain about that, sir? Yes or no?
She complained about intrusive thoughts.
Okay.
If that's where you're...
How about the delusional beliefs and distorted reality? Do you recall her complaining about distorted reality, sir? Yes or no?
I'm not sure she used those terms. If you're referring
No,
to...
never mind what I'm referring to. Your answer is no, right?
No, she did not display psychotic features.
I didn't ask about psychotic features. I'm asking you about delusional beliefs and distorted reality, doctor.
That is a type of psychosis.
Okay.
So I didn't see any evidence of any psychotic features throughout the medical records.
So it's your understanding from reviewing her medical records that Lindsay never indicated that she was not participating in reality, that she was in a disassociated state, that she was out of touch with reality. You're telling this jury you never saw that?
I did see that evidence, that component that you discussed with their
Right. Good.
physician.
Great.
I don't see that as a sign, strictly speaking, of psychosis. It may have been in some cases, but
Right. Like
I don't see any signs of psychosis or delusions.
Like in this postpartum psychosis, sir, you'd agree that delusional beliefs, distorted reality is a symptom, yes or no? Not waxing and waning with your answer, yes or no?
Are you referring to an authority there?
Doctor,
You agree.
Doctor, hold on. Here's the way this works, all right? You don't really ask a lot of questions. You answer the questions, all right? If I told you before, if you can't answer a question the way it's framed, just let me know, and I'll tell counsel to frame it in a different way, all right? So
Okay,
that's the rules. That's how it works here. So go ahead, Mr. Reddington.
Thank you. Would you agree, sir, that a symptom of postpartum psychosis with a woman who is coming to a physician for treatment indicates that they appear to have normal periods between episodes of disassociation where they're calm, they're even laughing, and they can drive cars, they can talk to people, they can use telephones, all of that, right?
It would be that description may be of other things, but it's not necessarily of psychosis.
How about severe sleep deprivation, sir? Do you agree that severe sleep deprivation is a symptom when you're considering the whole of the patient complaining of various symptoms? Severe sleep deprivation is a symptom of postpartum psychosis.
I can't answer the question the way you phrased it.
Okay, so let's say postpartum psychosis, you're somewhat familiar with it, and would you agree that severe sleep deprivation is a symptom of it?
I can't answer the question.
Okay, you can't answer it, okay. How about rapid mood swings? Would you agree that rapid mood swings are a symptom of postpartum psychosis, sir?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Okay. How about a person saying that they're not herself? I want to be myself. I want to go back to being myself. I can't be myself. Is that a complaint that is a symptom of postpartum psychosis, sir?
It might be, if the person has psychosis.
Okay, the answer is it might be. Did Lindsay Clancy indicate that she wanted to go back to being herself?
Yes.
Now, did she also, was there any evidence, sir, of thoughts of harming her children?
There were periods when she had impulses or intrusive thoughts about harming her children.
And when you say intrusive, if I come to you and, if a person comes to you and postpartum psychosis is on your radar and says that they're having intrusive thoughts about harming their children, would you not ask them what that means? In other words, is it a voice in their head? Is it their thought process? What is it? Do you ask that question?
Of course.
Did anybody ask that question when she was complaining about having intrusive thoughts about suicide, for example? Did anybody ask her what that meant? Voices in the head or thoughts?
I believe that the clinicians at McLean, at Mass General, Dr. Gelada, Dr. Tufts all asked about, or all made inquiries to understand the nature of her suicidal ideation.
Do you believe that based on your review of the medical records and based on your review of the numerous cocktail of drugs that were prescribed to her that she received good medical care from Gelada and Tufts?
No, ruled.
I don't have an opinion on that.
Did she complain that she was not herself and her family could see the change?
Yes.
Okay. Did she also complain of thoughts of suicide?
Yes.
Did she also have poor insight?
I'm not sure that she had poor insight.
Well, if you are looking at postpartum psychosis and the symptoms are 1 through 10, if a person is complaining to you as a doctor, and when I say complain, I don't mean complaining, I mean that's medical language, that they're complaining or giving you a symptom, of 1 through 9, that is a very, very strong indicia that the person is suffering from postpartum psychosis, is it not?
1 through 9? I'm not sure I can answer that question.
Okay. How about blood tests? You think they're important when you're dealing with prescribing medications like Tufts was after a month?
They can be.
And do you think, sir, to a reasonable degree of medical certainty that a person should be given a basic blood test when you're prescribing these medications to them?
Overruled.
There are some situations where blood tests are required or needed, and other times when psychiatrists may feel comfortable making prescriptions without such tests.
So there is a further test that can be given that would actually determine whether or not a person's enzymes are reacting to the drugs, the narcotics that are being prescribed to them. Isn't that right?
You say narcotics?
Well, drugs, you know,
sure.
like sertraline or...
Can you say the question again?
Sure. Prescriptions. When a person is prescribed prescriptions, it is well within reason that a competent physician would, number one, take a simple blood test, right?
It's possible.
Okay. And I guess that's up to the doctor that you're seeing, right?
Well, sure, or depends on what concerns the person may have, what's their medical history, what's your awareness of other factors that are affecting their biological health.
So let's take Lindsay Clancy.
Depends on which medication we're talking about also.
Let's take Lindsay Clancy, for example, sir. The medical records that you reviewed when she's dealing with Tufts and Gelada, did they administer any blood test to her at all?
Not that I recall.
Is there a further analysis that can be performed on the blood that is drawn from the woman when she sees the doctor to determine whether or not there are enzyme reactions to the prescription drugs that they're prescribed?
There are tests that can be done to determine the relative degree of one enzyme or another and how much they would do in terms of breaking down the medications, if that's what you're talking about.
Well, that test wasn't administered to Lindsay, was it?
I don't think so.
In spite of innumerable, which we won't have to